welcome to the Genesis of Preacher. This is Chris Saunders, I'm Shawn Baker, and we're here to talk about Preacher. Season 2 just started and wanted to talk about it. So, Chris, what'd you think?
Well, right off the bat, I think that this season is shaping up to be a lot more interesting than last season was.
Yes.
But with this season right here, it's going off with a bang.
Yes, definitely. Better tone right off the bat. I feel like the characters have congealed a little bit better. And it is deviating from the comic. So I feel like they're doing the comic without doing the actual episodes or issues of the comic. They're recreating it and doing different scenarios. But it so has the heart and soul of it that it works. And like, I didn't want to like this show going into season 1 at all. It's my favorite comic. So I was like, God damn you guys, you know. But in season 1, I had some trouble with some things. We talked about in the last, our kind of zero issue for this before we had a definitive name or an idea that we were going to do it episode by episode, which we are. But yeah, like I really, like the first episode I loved. And we talked about it when we watched it, just really, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it really, they did a number of things that just wasn't in the original comic, but has so much of the vibe that if I didn't know any better, I would have said that Garth Ennis wrote this.
Yeah, and he did it. He apparently really liked the show, as did Steve Dillon. And now, I see why. I don't know that I saw why in the first season. I was like, well, I guess they're not doing it harm. Now I'm like, oh yeah, this is like fueled by Ennis.
Exactly. Yeah, it feels very much like the entire first season was just a prequel to get us here, and that it's essentially the actual first season of the show. Is what it feels like.
Do you think that it's because the powers that be, so it's Rogan and Goldberg and Catton. I forget how to say his name, which is probably the easiest name, but. Do you think maybe AMC was like, well, we don't want to start with a road show right off the bat, so like they made them anchor it or something? Like, I don't know. There's a weird, why did they do that? But I guess I get it now seeing this, maybe?
I mean, the other thing I can think is that it's possible that they knew where they wanted to go with the show, and they knew that if they started that from the get-go, that you would lose a lot of viewers who don't know anything about the comic.
Right.
They would just say like, well, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, right.
What is this? But also as a way for those non-comic viewers to become invested with the characters.
That makes perfect sense.
Now that they're invested with the characters, now they can really go balls to the wall with things.
Yeah. I mean, it's also interesting. I wonder, if they've written the entire arc of the whole show, because they kind of transposed a later arc of the comic, which is the Salvation storyline, which, Jackie Earle Haley's character, Odin Quincannon, is in that. It's not in the town where Jesse was the preacher. And so they've kind of, I'm wondering if the way they amalgamated that in the beginning, we're obviously not going to get it, but, what does that do to the trajectory of the story? We'll find out, but it's interesting. I feel like maybe they did that for the reason you say, to get people invested and give them kind of a leg to stand on with the characters, but also because they knew they wanted to do that character, but it wasn't going to work down the road.
Well, yeah, for me, I think that, even reading the series, because I want to say, Preacher was, 66 issues? Wasn't it poetically like that? It was 66 issues?
I feel like it was 75, but I may be counting the specials. Because the series ran a definitive length, but then there were, as Ennis usually does, he did with the boys as well, there's the mini-series that fill it out, so there was
the Saint of Killers.
The Saint of Killers mini-series, which you kind of get in the first season, a sum-up of that with his scenes. There was the Arseface special, there was the Jody and, what's the other redneck?
Which, for people who haven't read the comics, the character of Jody will be most likely coming up. Yeah,
maybe soon. Maybe sooner than we think.
Yeah.
You brought this up. I noticed it right away. In fact, I think while I was watching the first episode last night, I think you messaged me did you catch the fish tank? And I was like, yes, because there's a moment I think when they're in the strip club, right, the back room.
They're at Pastor Mike's.
Oh, was that Pastor Mike's?
They're sitting at the dinner table
behind Jesse, or actually, was it even behind Jesse? Or was it Tulip?
No, it was right. It was right behind Jesse. Something had brought up Pastor Mike, and I hope that's his name. I don't remember his name.
It was Mike. I know that.
So Pastor Mike, he brings up something about Jesse's mother and Jesse's mother's family. And he kind of alludes that he doesn't really want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And in the background, you see a little treasure chest.
In the fish tank.
In the fish tank, and it just kind of opens up this little bubble, little filter thing, like you do a little blow. Which is a huge foreshadowing to
a storyline coming up. Now, I don't actually, in retrospect, I don't think we should actually say what it is, but let's just say this. If you haven't read the book...
This is where I flash little spoilers.
Like...
Mute for 30 seconds.
This is a big deal. This is like inherently a part of Jesse's character because it's a childhood trauma, and I think it's coming. I mean, I hope that wasn't just like, oh, that's your little illusion and it's gone, because it's Anyway, okay, what did you love about the first episode of this season?
You start off the show with Joseph Gilgan as Cassidy going off on a whole rant about foreskins.
70 million circumcisions every year. Did they report? And that's just in this country. Think about that.
You know, and it culminates with Dominic Cooper as Jesse and Ruth Negga as Tulip, essentially singing "Come On Eileen" while running from the police with a whole grindhouse film overlay over the whole thing.
Switches that grindhouse style was cool.
I love a car chase.
At this moment, you mean everything.
Yeah,
Very
I mean
cool.
that was definitely one of my favorite things about the first episode of season 2 right there. I mean, what did you think? What did you...
Same. That really, like, right off the bat, I feel like they announced to me as a skeptic, like, hey, we got you. It just set such a tone, you know, and then the Saint of Killers, I like him as this unstoppable force. I mean, he was in the book as well, but the way that they've kind of made it, I don't want to say cinematically, but transposed it to moving picture, like, it works really well. They had to kind of, you know, blow it up a little bit, as no pun intended. Like, it's a little bit more hyperbolic, but it works, I feel like. Mm-hmm. Great casting with Graham McTavish. I mean, that was great. That whole first episode, and then it ends in that weird, where you get different, as you pointed out from the book, where he's telling, Jesse's telling the Saint to stop, and he doesn't stop.
Stop! I said stop!
Yeah, because now, for those of you who have never read the books, in the books, Jesse does have control to an extent over the Saint of Killers, just how he would like a normal person.
Yeah.
He could say something to them, and they would have to do it. Same with the Saint of Killers. You know, he told him, you know, to stop where he was, and he did, and
he didn't like it.
He did not like that whatsoever.
It's a great reaction, and a great Steve Dillon. Like, he's so great. There's certain just emotions or reactions that he does so well. And I remember that one vividly.
You just feel the anger.
Yeah, you
coming
do,
off
man.
Of
You
just
do.
Looking at them like, oh god, he's gonna pay for that
Yeah.
at some point. So it is really interesting to see, you know, where are they gonna go with that.
Yeah.
That, you know, essentially he has no control over him. It really paints more of a cat and mouse.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. In the meantime, you know, grab your Bible and your whiskey or your wine and, you know, pray.
And I'm Chris. This is Shawn from Drinking with Comics, and this is the Genesis of Preacher.
Cheers.